Welcome back for episode 2 of the Owen Handy Show. I'm Anderson Herald Bulletin sports editor George Bremer, and with Anderson University men's basketball coach Owen Handy. Coach, congratulations on a really outstanding opening game.
Yeah, thank you. It was nice to get the win.
One thing that obviously stood out, and today he got honored for it, Trevor Lucas with an outstanding debut game,
Yep.
But now he's also the HCAC Player of the Week.
Yeah. Obviously very pleased how Trevor played. I thought especially early in the game, we were a little passive offensively in terms of team offense, in terms of running our motion, and Trev really got the spark going by attacking the rim and playing really aggressively in transition. So obviously he's a pretty talented player and a really gifted athlete as well, and not just in terms of his ability to run and jump, but he's got great body control, and he's got a really good motor. So certainly we don't expect 32 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals every time out, but if he wants to do it, we'll take it.
We talked a lot about new faces last week, and a lot of them saw time in the game. I think you had 6 freshmen that got into the game.
Yeah.
4 of them played quite extensively,
Yeah.
and 2 of them started.
Yeah.
Were you excited with what you saw from them in their first real college action?
Yeah, I would say I was really pleased. I thought we saw what I have come to sort of take for granted about Stanley Duncan, and that's that he's a very consistent defender and he's a really smart player. We talk a lot, obviously, offensively. We play 4 guys high and 1 pretty deep, and that's to open up the middle of the floor for penetration off the dribble and for cuts to the rim. And Stanley does a really good job of reading his defender and knowing when he needs to make a cut right at the rim. And I think he got a couple baskets and drew a foul off that, and then he didn't shoot the ball as well as I'm accustomed to seeing him do that, but he's certainly a really good shooter as well. And then Cole Hartman, who also got into some foul trouble early, and there's some differences in defending the post high school to college, and he's got to learn how to defend without using his hands, and got whistled for a couple quick fouls that were both good calls, I thought. So he sat for a while, and I'm not a rigid believer that you sit a guy with 2 fouls for the whole first half. But we were able to hang around, so I didn't end up feeling like I needed to put him back on. But once he got back out there in the second half, I thought we got to see a little bit of what makes Cole unique. He's got great hands. He plays at his own tempo. He plays at his own pace. He's never hurried. And he's a guy who can score around the basket, but also good catching it outside, putting it on the deck, knocking down perimeter jump shots. So those 2 guys started and I thought played really well. And then we got good minutes off the bench from Wes Davidson and Joe Line as well in our freshman group.
And Cole as well got to the free throw line quite a bit for you. Another kind of skill for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as the returning players go, you had a couple guys who weren't able to play. Obviously, Cam Etzler injured and sat out, and then Corey Krieger really only got in towards the end of the game because he's still kind of coming back from some things.
Yeah.
So as deep as this team is, do you expect to get even deeper here as the season goes on?
Yeah, I would think that we probably have 10 to 12 guys who by January I'm going to be really comfortable having on the floor. And I say that having 1, 2, 3 guys who haven't practiced a whole lot, who may insert themselves into that conversation once they're back in shape and back into the flow of things. So, obviously we've got a group of guys who stand out as our best players, but we really do have a pretty deep group of guys who I am comfortable, or I think I will be comfortable putting on the floor situationally as well.
How good is that from a practice standpoint and from a roster standpoint in creating competition and kind of making guys push each other as you move on here?
Yeah, I think that's critical. When I look back at the best teams I've been a part of, that I've been on the bench with, one thing they've all had in common is they've been really good practice teams. And what I see with the group right now is they're extremely coachable. They want to learn, they're hungry for knowledge, and I can coach them hard. They don't back away. I mean, coaching in its most basic form is almost constant constructive criticism. And it takes a certain mental toughness to be able to hold up to that. And I feel like we've got a group who has a good balance of self-confidence that allows them to be coached. without feeling threatened. They work really hard, and it's a group that seems to really like each other. They enjoy spending time together. But what we haven't had the past 3 years is the opportunity to really go 10 deep in practice and know that if you're not going full speed as a starter, you're going to get exposed. And I think we're starting to build our roster to that point, and to me that's what separates a team, because great teams grow over the course of the season and they improve over the course of the season, and that happens because you've got the depth in practice. You know, another advantage of that is you don't have to coach effort. If a guy's not playing hard, instead of barking at him and making the team run, you just take him out and put somebody in who you know is going to play hard. And so, you know, that's a core element of my coaching philosophy, is if you don't play hard, you're not going to play. Well, for 3 years I've had to coach effort because we couldn't just send guys out of drills or send guys out of 5-on-5 work. Well, we've got the depth this year in practice to do that. So that's not to say we're going to be a great team this year. I think we've got a chance to be good. And one of the reasons for that is our depth and competitiveness in practice.
Nice thing for you too, you get another home game coming up. You got to open here at home.
Yep.
And now this Saturday you're going to welcome in Wilberforce. What do you know about them?
You know, Wilberforce has played a couple of really good schools, really good programs in Indiana where I'm friends with the coaches. So they've played Grace and Indiana Tech already, and I've had a chance to chat with members of their coaching staff. And what I've been told is they've got a couple really dangerous players. So we'll actually hunker down tomorrow and Wednesday and start to dive into the tape of Wilberforce and evaluating them ourselves. But what I've been told is they've got a post and a guard who are both capable of getting 20, 25 points kind of without blinking an eye. So that's a little bit of a different challenge. I think with Cincinnati Claremont, the challenge was to attack their changing defenses and to make sure that we didn't get broken down kind of across the board. We felt like everybody on that team could face up and beat us one-on-one in terms of, you know, their quickness, in terms of their ability to get to the rim. So we really had to be focused on defending all 5 of their guys as a team. And if what I've heard about Wilberforce is correct, it changes a little bit when you're scheming for a couple of outstanding people rather than looking at trying to defend all 5 guys. So that'll be fun. I mean, as a coach, those are the sorts of challenges that you enjoy going into and game planning and figuring out how can we put ourselves in the best position to win. So I'm excited for that, looking forward to that challenge, and then working with our team to understand that challenge and implement what we want to do.
All right, we should mention that game will tip off at 7:30 on Saturday night here at OC Lewis Gymnasium. I believe the women's team will be in action. They're playing their tip-off tournament. There'll be games at 2 and 4, and they'll find out on Friday when AU will be playing on that day. Coach, thanks a lot for your time again, and good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.